mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivonu lihalikeh,
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
And we turn now to page 20 to sing together Lecha Dodi.
Lekat dodi litrat gala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat ne'amela. Lekat dodi litrat gala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat ne'amela. Shamar v'zachor v'dibur echad ishmianu el hamiyukad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'yitira. Lekat dodi litrat gala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat ne'amela. Lekat dodi litrat gala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat ne'amela.
We rise as we turn to page 28 for the Berlow.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch Adonai, Amivorah. Baruch Adonai, Amivorah. Li'olam
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, forcefully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Ama'ariv Aravim. And we turn to page 34 for the calling of the Shema. Please be seated.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and follow my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. And we turn to page 40 to sing together Mi Chamocha.
Adonai,
Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Rise for the tefillah on page 46. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, God of our fathers and mothers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, and God of Leah, the great, mighty, and awesome God, transcendent God, who bestows loving kindness, creates everything out of love, remembers the love of our fathers and mothers, and brings redemption to their children's children for the sake of the divine name. Sovereign deliverer, helper, and shield, blessed are you, Adonai, Sarah's helper, Abraham's shield, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. You are forever mighty, Adonai, you give life to all, you rain dew upon us. You sustain life through love, giving life to all, through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, the sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch Ata Adonai, Mechaye Hakol. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated as we turn to page 61 for the blessing for shalom, for peace and wellness and wholeness. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch Ata Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom.
Shalom,
We turn to page 253 for the prayer for healing and courage and strength in our lives, for everyone that is dear to us. We think about all our loved ones that need healing and courage and strength as we join in singing Misha Berach. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Our Torah portion this Shabbat is called Erev, which can be translated as a result of or because of all these. The Torah portion begins where Moses reminds the people of all the blessings and all the good that God has done to our ancestors in the 40 years in the desert. And then comes to, and because of all this is the expectation from you. And then comes a beautiful commandment from Moses where he's asking the people to show more compassion to the people who need their help in the community. And Moses actually, in a very colorful imagery, says, "Cut away, therefore, the thickening about your heart." In the Hebrew it is orlat levavchem, which would be translated literally as the foreskin of your heart, as there is something that covers our heart that makes us less soft, less compassionate. And when you come to think about it, as life goes, the day-to-day routine, what we're seeing around us, does make us less soft, less compassionate, less aware of what is going on. So Moses is saying, well, from time to time, you need to kind of take a look around you and try and be a softer person. Try to get rid of what prevents you to feel compassion towards the others. And then comes the only statement that actually would sound very familiar to us because it's part of our daily prayers. We say that every prayer, it's actually the first prayer in the central part of the prayer comes a description of Adonai, of our God, with a statement from Moses that we should walk in the same path as Adonai, meaning we should try and kind of be like God or imitate God in our own day-to-day doing, in our own ways. And Moses says, Adonai your God is Ha'el Agadol Agibor Ve'Anoah. Sound familiar? We just said those things, the great, the mighty, the awesome God. And what does that mean? Well, the next verse is going to explain exactly what it means. It's the God, for your God Adonai is the God that upholds the cause of the orphaned and the widow, and loves the stranger, providing food and clothing to the stranger. So after that, Moses lists the three most vulnerable people in the community of Israel in those days, the people who don't have property, the people who need the most, and the stranger has the less property because the stranger is not even a citizen. The orphan and the widow are citizens, so the stranger needs the most of, and God loves the stranger, and God provides food and clothing. And then Moses says that we are commanded lalechet b'darkei ha'el, to walk the same way of God, and this is why we're supposed to love the stranger, because we were once strangers in the land of Egypt. So as we remember our past, we need to look at the needy people in our midst, but not from up down, not with pity, not thinking, oh, those poor people, they need our help, but I will never be like them, but look at them as if we know, not as if actually, with the knowledge and with the memory that once we were exactly in the same situation, and actually with the knowledge that again we could be exactly in the same situation. So we shouldn't feel pity, we should feel compassion and empathy, because we're helping people that are exactly like us. Moses is speaking to the people of Israel as they are entering the land of Israel. After 40 years in the desert, the people of Israel are across the Jordan River and they're about to cross into the land of Israel. And Moses is actually saying to them, and in a way saying that also to us, one day, very soon, you will actually be in a position of power. You will not be the needy and the stranger anymore. Don't forget that you can be and you are in that position, and don't forget to take care of them. And I think that's the perfect Torah portion as we're approaching the high holidays, as the year is ending, and we should remind ourselves of the mitzvah, the commandment, to cut away what's thickening our hearts, to make us a little bit softer and more compassionate, and also to remind ourselves of the needy in our people. And I'm going to ask our wonderful streamer, Kat, to point the camera to the back of the room and ask everyone that is in here in person to look in the back in the room what we need to do for the needy in our midst. You would see here the beginning, but just the beginning, just the start, the first fruits of our food drive for the needy in our midst, for the food bank named after Sonny and Janet Meyer from our congregation, and that is managed by the Jewish Family and Career Services. And please soften your hearts and bring generously to the food bank that is taking care of more than 300 families in our community. Some of them are Jewish, most of them are not Jewish, and they really need our help. Shabbat Shalom.
May our right hand bring us closer to our godliness. May our left hand give us strength to face each day. And before us may our visions light our paths ahead. And behind us may will be heal our way. All around us is Shekinah. All around us is Shekinah. All around us is Shekinah. All around us is Shekinah.
Please rise as we turn to page 283 for the Aleinu. Please join me as we read together. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. We continue together on page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember especially Joshua Fink, Raymond Allen Sr., Dr. Stanley Frager, Alfred Joseph Sr., Yvette Weisberg, Ann Hellman, Stephen J. Goldstein, Pauline Weitz, David Bloom, Joseph Michael D., Maurice Feynman, Shirley Gear, Betty Jones, Ruben C. Loeb, Wolf Malkin, Simon Penso, Seymour Zaller, Jack Alcon, Ann Goodman, Ruth Marion Goodman, Grace Nafusi, Clara B. Sachs, Denise Seligman, Sol Tuckman, Harry Aberson, Ada Florence Bliden, Esther Eppinger, Marcia Hertzman, Suzanne Loeb, Oscar Sales, Sanford Spiegel, Suzanne Weinstein, David Weiss, Jeanette Anderson, Ida Grabfelder, Jacob Levy, Fanny Netter, and in recent days, Myra Epstein. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. With the blessed memories of our loved ones in our hearts, we rise as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה לשמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה. May the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction to us all. Amen. Our closing song is Oseh Shalom. We ask God to bring peace and wholeness to all humanity. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please say Shabbat Shalom to someone you never met before and to those you do know. And please join us for the oneg to have some of the good baked, the good baked pastry, the cookies that the women of Reform Judaism made.
Shabbat Shalom.